Today, we are going to explore a simple question. All right. So, after life changes, priorities shift, and expectations fall away, what still matters?
I think maybe I thought by this age, when I used to think of 58, that was to me old. And instead, I still have the mentality of, if my daughter says mom, I'm like, who the hell is she talking about in the room?
Wanting people to think positively of me. I think I've gotten to a point in my life where you can't really control that. Who I am isn't going to change, and I shouldn't try and change who I am just to meet people's expectations.
Yeah, some things don't change. Humans are humans.
Yeah.
And for the most part, people are just mean and cruel. And it all comes in, everybody has the same insecurities.
Sure.
They just don't want to admit.
Sana, Delaney, welcome to Kirbylicious Podcast. For our viewers and listeners at home, these two guests today travel far. So I'm super grateful and thankful for both of their time. Thank you for making time to have this conversation today. I'm excited because, another thing, viewers and listeners, these two guests, they just met today. They've never talked before. This is the very first time, and this is what the show is all about. And today's topic, I am excited because, it's a simple question, but it's a deep one. All right. So let's start with a short introduction. I want to get to know you. Let's start with you, Sana. Tell us about your name, if you're comfortable, your age, and, what is taking most of your energy right now.
So I'm Sana Remillard. I am 58 years old. I actually came from Ontario, California, which is probably more than an hour away from here. So very excited about this opportunity. Life these days, what's taking up most of my energy is just living daily. I think maybe I thought by this age, when I used to think of 58, that was to me old. And instead, I still have the mentality of, if my daughter says mom, I'm like, who the hell is she talking about in the room? And she's almost 25. And I just thought that at this point, things would be a little easier. That maybe it would be easier just to coast along. Because after all, I did everything right. In theory, on paper, I have followed everything the way it should have been to have a successful and very fulfilling life. And I realized that all of a sudden, where before I never felt stress, I'm actually feeling a lot of stress. I don't know if it's just the day and time and age that everybody's going through. I don't want to get into the politics and so forth.
Yeah.
But there is a lot that this country is facing. There's a lot each of us are. The unknowns are too great. I never expected them to be this prolific at this age.
Yeah.
I just thought I'd be coasting more.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that. And I can assure you, after Delaney will speak, you're not alone in that island.
Oh, yeah. Hi, my name is Delaney. I'm 24 years old. I drove here from Ventura, so hour 15. It wasn't too bad, but we're kind of met in the middle. Yes. It was kind of funny. Something that I'm putting most of my energy to, that's probably just working, also getting through every day. I've got a minimum wage job right now, just trying to make it work. Yeah. And I'm also hoping it gets easier, especially with the world right now. I feel you there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's very fitting to our topic today. But before we go to the topic, I love to do a flavor check-in. The question I have is, if this season of your life had a flavor, what would it taste like and why, Sana?
I don't know why everybody always thinks of ice creams, but I thought the first thing when you said came to mind is a rainbow sherbet.
Delicious.
I love it.
Yeah. Still, things are bright, very optimistic. You never know what flavor you're going to dip into. There's a lot of things are still unpredictable, but yet you know what's coming. Most of all, I think it's just at this point, I don't know what I'm going to be when I grow up, but I know what I'm not.
Yeah. Clarity.
Not quite there.
Yeah.
But at least I know where I don't want to be.
It's rainbow sorbet. Ooh. Yeah. That's good.
It was very profound. I was going to say like good oatmeal. Good oatmeal with a little too much sugar in it because things are hardy. So working on things. A little sweet because I have added a little more like energy towards bringing in the positivity in my life. So fulfilling, but also sweet is where I'm at right now.
Ooh, good oatmeal. Oh, yes, that's good. All right. So today we are going to explore a simple question. All right. So after life changes, priorities shift, and expectations fall away, what still matters? And this is an interesting topic because we're looking into a two different perspectives from Sana, who's 58 years old, and Delaney is 24 years old. So let's start with you, Delaney. When you think back to earlier chapters of your life, what felt really important then and that doesn't feel as important now?
I think especially like in my adolescence, I think feeling cool was a big part of it. Wanting people to like me, wanting people to think positively of me. I think I've gotten to a point in my life where you can't really control that. I've had enough experiences with people who I don't necessarily know, people who I've become friends with as well, to like see that my authenticity is going to be what it is. Who I am isn't going to change, and I shouldn't try and change who I am just to meet people's expectations.
Could you recall one particular example in the past that, explains the situation? Because, it sounds like validation, right? Yeah. If we could, recall a story in the past and share with us, what would that be?
I have quite a few.
Okay. All right. We've got about time.
We have time. In middle school, I went to like a K-8 school, so all of us knew each other, but everyone's insecurities all started popping up around middle school age, as I'm pretty sure most of the population experiences around like 11, 12, 13. I remember always like every morning getting dressed being like, oh, I wonder if my outfit's cool enough. I wonder like, oh, I hope that I look cool. I hope that I don't say anything silly. I hope that like, I was a very nervous kid. I am still a very nervous person, but a lot of my nerves and anxiety came from wanting people to like me. And I was definitely a weird kid in middle school. A lot of the people at my school were, but I couldn't see that yet. I was so trapped in the like, oh God, I hope everyone likes me. There was a falling out. Sorry, getting to the actual story of it. There was a falling out I had with a friend group I had. At the time, I had convinced myself that they didn't like me, that they didn't want to hang out with me. I did have evidence that showed that maybe they didn't at the time. And every day that I would go to hang out with them, I would overthink like my makeup, my clothing, the jokes I made, my interests. Like if anyone would like poke fun at something I liked, I was like, oh, I shouldn't do that anymore. I should leave that at home. I shouldn't wear this t-shirt because someone made fun of it. And I finally one day, I don't know what happened. Something in me like cracked. And I just was like, I don't want to, I was 13 and I was like, I don't want to live like this anymore.
Oh my God.
And I kind of let my freak flag fly from there on out. I started hanging out with the people who enjoyed me as I was. And now I try to be that kind of person. I still had those issues pop up, but it sort of tapered off as I got older from there on out.
Wow. Sana, 24 years old. What stood out for you with that story?
How young she was when she realized that.
Right?
I know 40-year-olds who can't get it in their head.
Yeah.
So do I.
Yeah. And where do you see your experience differ? It's very surprising as the age to have that clarity, but could you tell me a little bit about your, did you have this kind of experience before as well?
Yeah, some things don't change. Humans are humans.
Yeah.
And for the most part, people are just mean and cruel. And it all comes in, everybody has the same insecurities.
Sure.
They just don't want to admit it. You just realized it early on.
Right.
I think it's harder as a female. I think it's getting harder as a female because the social expectations, the things that are occurring that are changing, but yet you're expected to keep up with the change, but yet you have to be what everybody traditionally wants you to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I always say, you want to live longer and you want to enjoy things, but I would never want to go back to that age.
Yes.
I wouldn't even want to go back before 40 as a female, seriously.
Yeah.
So I think we've all kind of gone through some degree of that.
Yeah.
Maybe more profound for some. For you, it seems like it really impacted your life and kind of shaped where you went forward.
Yeah.
But good for you for doing it early on.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. That really has a lot of influence. Like, I too, in my generation, definitely appearance, wanting to fit in, and what's the new trend? You need to get on with that. Otherwise you're out of place, and that speaks also with like your generation, your culture, the people that you surround with. I wanted to know about your side, Sana, which is like, when you think about back earlier chapters of your life, what felt really important then that doesn't feel as important now?
Achieving, constant achievement. I grew up, my background, my parents are from outside the country. And so they held on to a lot of traditional values, which with education, with how professional you are. And even though I could say my dad didn't view women equally, but he had 2 daughters and he expected his daughters to be well-educated, professionals. And I remember from a very early age, he would say, you can never rely on a man. So you better take care of yourself. And yet that was completely different than how he treated my mom. But I thank him for that because that's exactly what he did. He raised 2 girls who are completely independent, well-educated, professional. In a way, that was a lot of pressure because that was the achievement that I chased my entire life. All the degrees, the awards, even all the pictures justifying what you've accomplished, they're just there. All my degrees are on the floor now because we were decorated and I have literally for 2 years, So, the achievements, I'm surprised at how little they matter at 58 than they actually mattered even at 48.
Yeah. What stood out for you with that answer?
It was just very, I connected to that as well because I'm definitely still in the achievement stage of my life.
Totally.
I graduated with my BA 2 years ago and I'm like, what do I do now? What do I do now? I definitely have that feeling within me as well. It's just really interesting to hear that from you as well. Not how little it matters, but how do I say that? It matters less now.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I can speak from my experience. Back in the day, in my generation, we got that script from the society, have to go to school, get an education, get a job, and achieve something. And I think this timeline right now, there is a shift where there's so much consciousness, so much awareness, what really matters, And I think people, through the access of the internet, a lot of information are there. People are speaking up, like this podcast. So what I'm getting is that both generations experience that a sense of validation. You want to achieve to something to feel important.
Yes, agree with that.
And also, I completely connect with Sana because as an immigrant, there's so much pressure to achieve something. So I like these answers. So I'm curious with you, Delaney. What didn't seem important back then, but then feels essential now?
Ooh, taking time to myself. I feel like back then, if we're speaking about the same like age range,
Sure.
A lot of that like validation that I was getting was from being around people, people wanting to be around me. I still sometimes feel that need to be like, no, I need to like be around people. I need to show up for people. Well, you should show up for people
Sure.
in certain contexts, but like spreading myself too thin. And now I'm getting into like a mindset where if I notice myself spreading too thin, I need to like not hermit myself,
Yeah.
but pull back and like focus on me for a minute, because I can't show up for other people if I'm not there for myself.
Yeah.
I think attention to what I need,
Yeah.
self-care
Yeah.
in the sense of like mental self-care,
Sure.
physical self-care, that's a lot more important to me now than
Yeah.
it ever has been.
Yeah. Could you give us an example, a story, an experience in the past where you really like give everything for you to be surrounded with people or exhaust yourself to please people?
Oh my gosh, yes. Let's go high school.
Okay.
In high school, I was in the High School Musical that was happening at the time. It was my junior year. I was in a bunch of AP classes, so like advanced placement, like college level courses that are notoriously difficult. I was showing up to rehearsals. I wanted to hang out with my friends after school. I wasn't really able to do that, but there was one weekend where in order to get my homework done, in order to get my lines memorized, or the music memorized, and in order to like see my friends, I stayed up for 72 hours, which is like stupid. I know, but like bordering on like medically, like you need to go to sleep. I started hallucinating. I was seeing like shadow demons out of the corner of my eye. And it got to the point where like I stood up, I blinked, and then I was laying on the floor. So I was like, yeah, I don't need to hang out with people that bad. I think if your life is starting to be a little in danger, maybe you need to focus on yourself. So from that point on, I kind of was like, if I'm feeling tired, I'm not going to show up for people that I can't show up for. I also noticed like around that time when I would show up, I was like grumpy.
Right.
I wasn't really paying attention. Because like aside from sleep, like you needing sleep physically in order to function, like if you're tired and you're not feeling it, like don't show up and be like a meh version of yourself when you could just like wait and then be there fully for people.
Yeah. My God, 24.
Mhm.
My God, what are they eating these days? What are they eating these days to get this wisdom?
Well, maybe there'll be better versions of us.
I am very hopeful, to be honest. And that's the reason I'm super excited to create this show, because it's such a beautiful presentations of like, there's hope. There's hope. What stood out for you for that story?
Again, it's just that how much earlier experiences are being internalized. I don't think maybe like my generation, we weren't allowed to recognize, especially as a female. Everybody came first. And then even if then you took the time for yourself, you were selfish, you were wrong. Somehow you were something wrong with you, not with everybody else for following the stupidity of things that don't even matter. So it's nice to see.
Yeah. And I also recall with my generation is like, some of my activities were controlled by my parents. And again, I didn't get to have that freedom to know what I want. And again, it's just, this is the lesson that they learn and pick up from their generations to generation, from parents to parents. But I really like surprised and love that you have this awareness and freedom like as this young, because that's what I'm experiencing right now as 42 years old. So it's so refreshing. What about you, Sana? On the flip side, what didn't seem important back then but feels essential now?
I don't think you can appreciate time and presence until now. Because before it was like the time, everything was so much in the future that you always had time. You know, I mean, you knew things could happen. You knew realistically you could be cut short, but you never expected it and you never internalized it. So time was something in the future. And being present, the same thing, putting up fronts, fitting in, instead of, sometimes you just you went through the motions rather than actually experience what you were in. I always used to say that we live in memory and in future, and we never live in the present. And I think, again, maybe our generation was more prone to that. I see, I work a lot with, and we criticize them because their work ethic and because they want this and they want that. But you know what? They're not wrong.
Yeah.
And maybe later on they're going to be better versions of us.
Yeah. What stands out for you?
That is very sweet. Yeah, I mean, my parents, I've also heard similar things about like everything feels so short and so quick. And it's the whole, like you hear it your whole life in the background. Like when you're a kid, it's like, oh, blink, she's going to be an adult soon. And I'm like, whatever that means. And I can't really notice it yet. I think maybe because I'm still in the like, oh, the future's so far away. And not to bring up current events, but that's made me reflect a lot. Like what is happening right now is we're not guaranteed the kind of future that maybe we want. So I've definitely tried my best to like harness that, like the time is now energy, but it's hard. It's difficult.
Oh yeah. And there's a whole group about this being present. What stood out for me is really, it's all about going back to your health, right? Because like, I remember when I was young, I was just like, go. And, you know, it's just a matter of time. Your body just really have that max capacity that it will break down. And it's just this whole illusion and ambition, like grab this to feel, to make you feel valuable, because that's really the script that we have been told that, you know, you'll be special when you get there. And so, Sana, what do you protect more carefully now?
Myself, where before that was at the bottom of the needs pole, it's become more prioritized. So I protect my ideology. I protect my ideas. I'm not as palpable by others to change those innate ideas that I've established, because those have come with time. They've been proven out. I don't mind conflict anymore. And and again, it comes from being protective of my own, knowing myself.
Can you recall an example recently that this protecting yourself you practiced?
I think that happens every day. Even as something as simple, even the way I approach dealing with people at work. I mean, work environment is basically just an extension of high school.
I love it.
You know, when you think about it, I mean, I'm
so many personalities.
Oh my God, you got it all, and it's amazing. Some people don't ever grow up, so it's like whatever they were in elementary school and high school, they still are, even if they hold high professional standing. And those same people are the ones that tend to want, if they if they feel that you are strong in your convictions, it's almost like a power play to see if they can, and especially if they don't agree with you or they're threatened by something, you have to say, they will attempt to bring you down, just like they did in high school.
Yeah.
You know, and as an adult and as a professional, you have more to lose than you did in high school. What do you lose in high school? You just get a new group of friends. You know, that's your livelihood in a lot of things. And I know people are really kind of, oh, well, you can get another job. It's not about another job. It's your livelihood. It's your time. It's everything. So yeah, a lot more protective of, I don't let people inflict especially if they have very poor, in my opinion, poor opinions. I will not let it slide anymore. Where in the past.
When you say you do not let slide, what do you mean by that?
I will challenge and not in a bad way.
Yes.
But I will not succumb to their whims just because I'm afraid that it will be harder to be around them, or that my job is at stake or something. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I understand people. It doesn't mean I'm right.
Yeah.
It's just that I strongly believe in certain things, and I've earned that right, just like they have. And it just has to be equal.
I love that. I can connect a little bit of that, because I remember when I was younger, I just go silent and distant myself. You have to face uncomfortable conversations, and that's where the real growth is. I love that. How about you? What do you protect carefully now?
I protect my own energy, I guess, not to get like spiritual about it.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's similar in I'm still struggling with it, but I don't let people tear me down in like similar ways like that, or expect me to just like be a rug and let them walk all over me. And it's hard. It's really hard to do. It's something that I just started doing this. I'm not good at it yet, but I'm hoping that I can get to that point where like you just need to protect yourself. You need to protect your mind, your opinions, and you're not afraid to do it. I hope to be there someday. It's so hard. I'm still very scared of conflict.
Totally.
But it's so important to make sure that you have your own back, because if you don't, then you'll end up flattened under somebody's shoe.
Yeah. Was there any particular example recently that you protected your energy?
Ooh, yeah. I had a friend who I've known for most of my life. Without going into too many details, they said something that I wasn't comfortable with. They said something that like really deeply offended me, something I never thought they would ever say. It almost like fully made me view them in a different light, which I hate. I don't like that. That it scared me, actually, because I was like, I've known you most of my life. Where was this version of you? And in protecting myself, but also wanting to keep them, I needed to have that uncomfortable conversation of saying like, that really deeply hurt me. Where did that come from? I don't like whatever version of you that was. I know you're better than that. And they were very receptive to it. They did not mean any harm. And it was very, I guess, cleansing.
Yeah.
It was uplifting to like be able to work through that. I think it might have been easier for me because I've known them I say entire life, but for 75% of my life, I've known them. So having that bond already probably made that easier, but it's still really difficult. I commend you for being able to do that, all the time, every day at work.
You did it.
Yeah, you're starting. And,
it's so stressful.
Yes. And I think that I mean, I'm speaking from a 42-year-old perspective, and that is the ingredients of life. It will make you resilient. You know, I woke up this morning, my meditation theme, which is so fitting, because I am also going through some things that I have to protect. And it's so funny because the messaging that I pick up this morning is that I just have to answer a basic question, Kirby. Is it energizing or depleting you?
Ooh,
Like, oh my God.
that's a good question.
Again, speaking from my timeline, when I hit 40 years old, I get this sense of clarity that like simplify life. From my friend Nancy, I get to learn how to ask simple questions that really is so impactful. That when I was younger, like another thing that I pick up from this answer is that emotional intelligence. I never learned that until like 5 years ago. I was not nurtured and brought up with speak your feelings. And now like, oh my God, there's more than words than sad, happy, and lonely and boring. There's other words. So that is emotional intelligence to be able to have that difficult conversations with someone, be able to listen, non-reactive. It's a life's journey. And
Emotional intelligence is something I think most people neglect it. When we speak of intelligence, we're always talking about IQ.
Mm-hmm.
I totally am one to believe if you can be, a genius, 160 IQ, but you could be literally like a 70 on the EQ. And if you don't have the balance, and there's people who don't, it's the problem is IQ can be taught, EQ can't.
no.
It's something innate, and some people will just never have it. And I think it's become more obvious, maybe because of things like social media and people expressing opinions.
Yeah.
And I often go, this is supposed to be an intelligent person. This is not an intelligent person. This is maybe somebody who learned well in school, but they have no intelligence.
Yeah. And that is the lesson sometimes that you have to go through like a lifetime, because our human nature tends to control the situation, tends to fix, and we have this innate nature that we want to be right. And I think the emotional intelligence is be able to listen and to accept whether it's right or wrong, and having an open conversation and receive it. And I failed many times. I failed many times.
I think you're right. I think the greatest lesson I learned is I'm actually very comfortable saying I don't know, and I have to figure it out. And I find that probably when I was able to do that finally, that I don't know anything, it's almost liberating.
Absolutely.
It really is. And you see the world and you see people differently.
Absolutely. And there's also a liberation in the way that, you look back in your life like, I've had so many experiences, I've gone so many trials. There's also a sense of humility that I really don't know. I'm just figuring it out. And I think it takes a lot of work to yourself, a daily practice of whatever tools that you have, in order for you to keep that consciousness and awareness. The next question I have, Delaney, is what do you no longer chase the way you once did?
Ooh. I wish I could say I don't chase validation. I still do.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Sure.
Let's see. Similar to similar to the middle school thing. I don't know how else to say it other than clout.
Okay.
I don't need the social points of being cool or of looking cool or sometimes you post a little thing on Instagram like, oh, look at me. I don't do that for likes, comments, or following anymore. I do that for me. I don't know how else to say that other than just clout, which is such a funny word.
Yeah.
Valid.
Yeah. What about you? What do you no longer chase the way you once did?
Concrete achievements.
Ooh. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the way I was brought up, the immigrant mentality, personality, character, whatever. I was very focused. I have lists. I had achievements. I'm one of those people I was lucky that whatever I did well enough that it was an achievement. And at the end, again, things are just sitting there gathering dust. And now the things you remember aren't those achievements on a daily basis. That's not what I think about.
The world is changing, and no matter how much suffering out there, when we see the news, everyone is figuring it out how to be a better version of themselves. Thank you both for your wonderful answers. Now let's do a rapid fire. Whatever comes through your mind very quickly, that would be great. So, Delaney, one thing that matters less than you thought it would.
Beauty.
Tana?
Perfectionism.
Oof. Yeah, that really strike. Yeah.
But that goes along with the beauty.
Yeah,
almost hand in hand.
exactly. Yeah, for women. Yeah, for sure. Okay, next question is one thing that matters more than you expected.
Family.
Happiness.
Let
me squeeze that a little bit more. What does that look like to you?
Like a personal conflict.
Ooh.
Because we have so much controversy. First of all, people don't expect that they should be happy.
Mm.
And I don't know if that's why we have all this victimhood. Like everybody rather talk about being a victim than about, oh my God, I had a really good day. Like all you hear is about, the bad experience getting lunch or something, instead of saying, oh my God, this was just a really good morning. Or people don't allow themselves to just appreciate being happy.
Yeah.
And I always say it's so hard to be happy. Why do we have to make so many other people miserable? Like who am I to dictate who you're going to love, what you're going to do, what you're going to think? Does it really matter to my happiness? And I don't know if that just comes from everybody so insecure and you need everyone agreeing with you, and that way you feel worth. But maybe what happiness looks like is being independent.
Yeah. I want to expand this a little bit because this is such an interesting topic. What are your thoughts before I give mine?
I connect with all that. I keep using the word profound, but there's no other way to say it. It's so profound. It's so disheartening how many people just focus on the negative. And if you have a bad day, tell me about how you had a bad day. But every day, there's nothing good. Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I totally see that all the time.
Yeah. And I feel like there's this, I don't know, maybe society, social media, there's this whole pressure of, do I need to be happy? Right? Like there's always this pressure, like when we start labeling things, the suffering comes in. So thank you for that answer. That really strikes me. Now, next one is one habit, value, or relationship you protect now, Delaney.
Ooh, my best friend. I will protect that relationship with tooth and nail. My best friend, she lives in Utah.
Oh my God, long distance friend.
Yes.
Wow. High school?
Actually, since second grade.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
She's my favorite person in the world.
Nice. Yeah. Was the relationship strengthened with a distance?
Yes.
Yeah.
Strangely. I describe her as my platonic soulmate.
Sure.
We're like the same person split into one half and sent through different states.
Yeah.
But absolutely. It's great.
I love that because one thing for sure that I would definitely advise is keep that, because as you get older, it's so hard to find friends.
Yeah. I'm starting to see it happen, and that connection, I like sword and shield.
Yeah.
I need to keep that one strong.
That's
but
amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. What about you, Sana? One habit, value, or relationship you protect now?
The one thing I protect now is my solitude. That gives me strength. It gives me comfort. And instead of denying it, I actually proud of that. That I can actually enjoy. Yeah, so probably that's the one.
Yeah, that is, I definitely connect with that. I struggled before because I always misunderstood being alone to loneliness. Solitude, the word is like, again, I'm just learning this one a couple of years ago. Solitude? You know? Like, what is that?
Yeah, it's not solitude confinement.
Right? I think when you get to the other side, as you get older, then I think that's where my life right now is like started to do the work. I think for the age, and generation for Delaney is like, you have to go through these experiences. I heard someone said like, when you're under 40, you're just collecting data.
That feels very accurate.
Right? Because like, when Sana talks about it, like, I always love people who are in their 50s, and especially when they talk, I always like feel this energy of like calm and clarity and confidence in life. Yeah. So thank you for sharing that solitude value. One last question for the rapid fire. One thing you would spend more time on if you could?
Learning languages.
Ooh.
I think I just can do that. Learning languages it's so fun. I want to know every language in the world. That's impossible, but communicating with people is so important. I want to be able to like learn other people's lived experiences, even if there's a language barrier. But yeah, that, and I think just generally knowledge, like growing my brain, probably. The data collecting.
Yes. Plenty of time.
Hopefully.
Yeah. What about you, Sana? One thing you'd spend more time on if you could?
Wandering. And I don't mean like WON, but wander, like to wander around. Because I think I spent most of my life so focused, achievements on chasing something, that just the idea of, like, for example, traveling and not having a destination or an itinerary, that you have to do this or this. It'd be nice to do that every day, instead of having the alarm clock wake you up and setting the alarm clock going to bed. That you just have the time to wander through the day and enjoy.
Yeah. I feel you. To Delaney's point, when I moved to Thailand when I was 19 to teach ESL, I was working there as an English language teacher. I had no idea how to speak Thai.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, zero. And when you're young, you're like adventurous, rebellious. You can take whatever it is. But looking back right now, I would say that was the most adventurous but also dangerous thing that I've did in my life. Going to a country you don't know, you don't speak the language. I didn't know anybody there. So the point I'm trying to make is that the way I learn the language is be in it.
When you came to this country, did you speak English?
Yes, I always do. Again, this is like part of like I'm guided. Because ever since like back in the Philippines, I always choose to speak English, and like I made a lot of mistakes, and I just felt like I wanted to be here in the US. Like it's always been in my dream, and I worked my ass off to get to improve my English. So language, it's beautiful. Have you heard of the word neuroplasticity? So you have so much of that. You have so much
I'm
of that.
in the right stage to do all that.
I think for me, I did not like sitting down in a class and learn. I learned on the street.
Oh, that's
the only you have to find that tickles you. Yeah, it's the only way to learn things. It needs to have fun. That is connected to your answer, Sana, because when I heard your answer, I'm feeling that too, is that the play of life, right? I love to play now. I wanted to feel like child again, or just like go and carefree. that feeling of carefree. Now, for someone listening who feels overwhelmed right now by, choices or expectations, what's one thing you gently remind them still matters?
I think it's hard to realize when you're in the moment of life that, first of all, you're going to spend more time being old than you are being young.
Mm.
So be kind to yourself at the moment, and whatever decisions you make, everything's 50-50. You're in 50 years, you may be thinking that was the best decision, or you'll be thinking that was the worst decision.
Mm.
And just stay true to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Be true to yourself, and just remember whether you believe in free will or you don't, or you believe in determinism or whatever, everything you decide is only 50% your decision. And just realize that today goes by. Give yourself a chance to experience later.
Yeah.
It was lovely.
What about you?
Oh, my answer is not going to be as good as that.
Well, think about those people in your generation.
Yeah.
Because these are people who are like you. It's not an answer that is right or wrong. It's the answer that, what works for you.
Is somebody feeling overwhelmed? Very similar. Just like choose what feels right to you.
Mm.
You're going to be, at the end of the day, you'll figure it out. Whatever happens, you'll get through it. There's no right way to do something. Just believe in yourself.
So guys, thank you. What a lovely conversation.
It was beautiful. Thank you, guys.